Sorry. You need to play with under the table.
It's a little fidget thing.
That sounded really wrong.
That's the best edit yet. This is Vicky. Let's Negotiator. She just needs to be a play with it. So here with Victoria, our senior lettings negotiator at Horizon.
Hello.
Hello. Do you want to give us a little bit of a backstory about yourself, where you come from, what you do?
Born and bred in Middlesbrough, if you can't tell by the accent.
Love the borough.
Yeah, literally. Worked in quite a few different jobs, to be fair. Went to uni, did interior and architecture.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I mean, you're talking about
I know, I literally send a picture of my house in the group chat every day. But no, so did interior architecture at uni. Uni wasn't really for me. Prefer working, so worked at Wetherspoons for a while. Came out of that. Started working at a high street estate agency. Was there for about 2 years.
Yeah.
And then came here.
What were you doing there?
Lettings again. But then came here, dabbled in a bit of sales.
Did you go from there to straight to here?
Did education for about 2 months.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But
realised that you preferred property.
Yeah, literally. I mean, did interior at uni, as I say, so I've always wanted to work in property, whether it is obviously estate agency or the interior aspect. So don't mind when I go out stage and.
You're responsible for bringing new landlords on.
Yeah.
Managing landlords, managing tenants, everything around that.
Yeah.
Trying to keep landlords trying. Don't know if you have to try too hard. Usually goes okay. Keeping landlord relationships good. And then building our portfolio behind you. That's probably our key role, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have a property managed by Horizon yet, you probably will do soon when you come into contact with Vic.
Literally, keep you on the phone for about half an
hour.
Yeah.
Chat your head off until he's there,
yeah, literally.
And it's, what's the 27th of June, we've just hit summer. Finally getting a heat wave now after all that bad weather.
Yeah.
And in your own words, you thrive in summer, don't you?
Yeah.
So we're going to be on for a good run now.
Yeah. Had a good month this month. Got about 5 lined up for next month as well. So.
Yeah. Quality.
Going good.
Yeah.
Going good.
How are we finding rentals at the minute?
Busy as ever. Literally keeping going. Obviously with the summer holidays and stuff coming up, you've got the uni students coming over, so HMOs are boosting as well. So. Yeah. Still as busy as ever. Yeah.
And one thing I'll say, like to Lindsay in our lettings team as well, you seem to just set like rental demand on streets.
Yeah.
Like if a street just £600 a month, you go 650 and get it.
Yeah.
It's like you're just increasing that TS, sort of like TS1, TS3, TS5. You're just setting new ceiling levels for every street.
Well, I'm helping out the other agents, aren't I? I'm best price guide.
If anyone wants a comparable, just come to Vic.
I know. Well, I drove down Beaumont Road in TS3 the other day, and it was literally Horizon. I was like,
Yeah, it's been
what you
to me
want.
a few times as well, definitely, yeah. And do you think all the new increased rents are sustainable? That's a big question that comes up all the time.
Definitely. I mean, we explain to landlords and things like that, like they'll be saying to us, realistically, is that achievable?
Yeah.
And we say to them, you need to be able to make a profit for yourselves whilst you're paying for your mortgage, to be able to like give them money because of the rates and things like that, because they don't think it's achievable.
Yeah.
And then you've got the tenants as well. As bad as it sounds, obviously there is a low rental there's not many properties available at the moment.
Yeah.
So as much as we put the prices up, it also does reflect
Tenant demand.
Supply and demand,
exactly.
It's a massive supply and demand issue, isn't it?
And I think it's just getting the balance between taking the mick and
yeah. And managing the right tenant, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you put a bad tenant in on an increased rent,
exactly.
we're probably going to have a problem. We're going to have trouble collecting it.
Yeah.
But with a profile and everything else we've got to go through.
Yeah, definitely.
And rents have lifted up across the board, haven't they? Like if you think them TS3s were going at 450, 500 not that long ago.
And you're putting out at 650s?
Yeah.
Like I was saying to Martin the other day, I was like, it's incredible. Like you look at some of these houses and the rents that they're achieving, and that one on Thornton Street, and I was like 650, no way, and like straight away applications, like multiple applications coming in.
We've got someone within a week, I think it was, if not less than that. But yeah, it's mental.
But it does come down to, like you said, it's like, you know, if a tenant wants to live there, you know, they've got such a short amount of like options on the market. They've got no choice but to choose the most suitable property at the best price.
Yeah.
And if everyone's at that sort of same level, but it does come back to, like, you know, mortgage costs have increased, general sort of living's increased, and as a landlord, like you said, there has to be a bit of a margin.
Yeah.
And if that margin has to squeeze up, the rent has to squeeze up.
I think as well, it's like the condition of the properties that we're getting at the minute are a lot better than what they were originally. Like, we're not going to charge £650 for a property in TS3 that's not in the best, it's not in the best condition, that's had issues with damp and mould and stuff like that. The stuff that we're getting on now, I think, comes from when we're valuing, we're a lot stricter with what we want as a business as well. Yeah. So if we walk into a house and it is a mess, I'll say straight away, look, this needs sorting, that needs sorting. If you wouldn't live in it, we shouldn't expect anyone else to live in it either.
Yeah.
And just being upfront with them.
That goes out a message we put down at the front end as well. Like, subprime property, subprime tenant. Yeah. If you're doing it half-assed, then you're just going to have issues and you're probably not going to get the rent you want. But if you do it bang on first time round, you're probably going to get a decent tenant that can pay the uplifted rent and they're going to want to stay there.
Exactly. I mean, we've just took a client on now, and he'd paid quite a lot in works already, but there was still stuff that needed doing. It wasn't like big jobs, it was just little decorative things. But I said to him, you do those things, you might be paying like £1,000 for the finished works to be done, but you're going to be getting an extra £50 a month on your rent, so it's going to cancel off straight away.
Yeah.
So those snags can make a big difference. Like I said, if there's a couple of small little issues, a tenant walks through the door on a viewing, and then already, they're on a bad foot sort of thing. So if you got that right from like I said, on the outset, then, everyone's going to be happy. The tenant's not going to start, the tenancy with a bad image in his head.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was expecting.
Start on the right foot.
Yeah. Well, HMOs, touched on that a minute ago, and we're doing more and more, so we're doing a lot of refurbs, particularly around TS1 for HMOs, loads of HMO conversions coming into the market. A lot of people from down south looking for HMO management across Teesside at the minute on various different levels. Like, how are we finding it?
It's still quite busy. I mean, obviously you get your drier spells when it comes to everyone's moved in when they're starting uni and things like that, but we've seen an influx of working professionals going into HMOs now.
Yeah.
If there's just them, I think we've had 2 move into a property on Gresham Road, just keep themselves to themselves, stay in the room, and then they go to work. And it's a lot of night shift workers, like hospital workers and stuff. So it's still busy. Obviously, it's not as quick as you get people into family homes and things like that. But yeah. Still busy.
So it serves a purpose though, doesn't it? Like you said, just because we may not want to be in a HMO, like our current time in life, but like, I said past when say I was at uni, it would have suited you then. Yeah, definitely. There's a purpose for everything.
There's a big shift, isn't there? There's a big shift in the population as to who's willing to house share.
Yeah.
Particularly, like, we get a lot of people coming from overseas. A lot of people, I think it's like a lot of African students, isn't they, come in for the STEM centre and things like that. Like the nurses, the NHS contracts that we do, obviously we put them in at the SA corporate there on one side, but I think over the next few months they're starting to filter out into more of a HMO model, which we'll be managing, and it comes down to really the type of tenant, the profile, and what they're used to, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And if they're not permanent, if they're fluid, if you're going to be moving in 3 months, 4 months, don't want to take a permanent rental and then just need a house share for a while.
Yeah, I mean, we had someone like that. He's just moved out recently, gone into a family home because I think it's generically one of the couple come over first, so they come over first and then they'll get set up and then they'll bring the families over afterwards. Yeah. So we've just had someone leave one of our HMOs to go into a family home.
Right, really?
And he was like, please, can you find us a property? Because we want to stay with you.
Yeah.
So it was nice. As I say, it's that busy at the minute, we just didn't have what he wanted.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Really? Oh, sure.
I know, but he said when his tenancy expires in 6 months, he'll be coming to us again.
Yeah, good.
Just get a review off him.
I did. Well, it was one of Lindsay's, to be fair. I said to her, ask him for one and he'll give you one straight away, and he did, to be fair. So nice.
I mean, it's generally good feedback though, isn't it? It's like nice for us to hear. People like that coming almost full circle on the journey, coming into the UK, obviously coming over for work, things like that, ended up in a HMO and then wanting to be in a family unit. Yeah. And almost like you could then see them through progressing. If they then decide to stay in the UK, they might then want to buy a house off us. Yeah. It's almost like a full sort of journey.
Yeah. Relocators.
Nice as well.
It's like we're down in London for the landlord show next week, aren't we? Are you all coming down here?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. When's this going out? When will this go out before the landlord show?
If you want.
Yeah. We'll try and get this out before the landlord show. So anyone who sees us at the landlord show or sees this video before the landlord show,
I'm your girl.
Property, you can come on board as a client. But it's the message that we bang down there is like the drive for the northeast. Like how many people are coming from around the country, contractors that are coming in, taking our serviced accommodation, corporate let units, and then the relocators. And you say the people who are coming from overseas. And it's like this, we always refer back to that story from the lads who lived above the shop with the contractors, and he was here upstairs for 18 months, and then eventually took a permanent
Right,
rent.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you're right.
Yeah, it's just constant. There's a constant flow of people that are making that transition and relocate themselves to the northeast, which for us, as we keep saying, is going to have it's having a massive demand on rentals, good quality rentals, then going into the first time buyer market, and then pushing property prices and rental prices up at the same time as well.
Yeah. It's just nice, I suppose, like when you pick up the phone and you just have a normal conversation with one of your tenants instead of it just being like, oh right, yeah, that's sorted, see you later.
Yeah.
Like you actually build a relationship with them, so
Yeah,
it's nice.
good. Where do you want to start? It's probably quite a bit we can touch on. To be fair, I mean, however many, we're managing a few hundred houses now across different sectors, and we don't get many problems, do we really?
But you're probably talking like, you know, a couple of percent
Yeah.
at best. I mean, like you said, you look at like arrear levels and you think like, you know, you see numbers and you're like, oh my God, but then when you look at it on a big picture of what you're collecting in a month, it is, you know, a couple of percent.
It's that one person, isn't it? That one person. So a lot of people hate lettings, they hate rental, and they hate lettings management, and it's too easy to get yourself into a mindset of thinking lettings management's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But it's because you've got that one person that's been a problem, that one person who's on the phone. There's a tenant, we can't refer to the tenant's name obviously, but there's one tenant in particular that's caused us a lot of problems over the last few months. Problems for us, problems for landlords, turning up at the office, being aggressive, all sorts of things. We had rumours coming back from the estate about what was happening in the house, all sorts of things. Has he been evicted yet?
Not yet.
No, still in there.
Moving out.
He's moving out. Yeah. So he's dragged it on with the council, but ultimately they had, what was the underlying issue? The payment, just money issues?
Yeah, literally, just money. The antisocial behaviour report served with a Section 21.
That's right, yeah, that's
wasn't
what
happy with
started
it.
It's
just it all comes down to like financial issues, and then once they've got to be in their bonnet that they're not paying or there's a problem, it's just almost like, you know, once it slips into sort of month 2 of arrears, it's almost like unachievable to sort of then get back up to a level. Once they've sort of gone 2-3 months into arrears, you know, that catching back up again is pretty much lost.
Yeah, and then you've got someone who's trying to play the system.
Yeah. But it's like we've got a couple of tenants of a property at the minute, and they were in arrears. And I always say to people, if you can give me a valid reason and an explanation going forward of how this is going to be brought down, I'm more than happy to put that to the landlords and have that conversation with them. Yeah, I said, but the difference is when you're promising dates that rent's going to be paid, I'm explaining that to the landlord. The landlord's being like kind enough to agree to it, even though realistically that's their mortgage payment, they're losing out. And then that payment never happens. It's sort of a kick in the teeth for me because I'm putting myself out on a limb for them.
Yeah.
And we had to serve them notice, and I explained to them on the phone, it's probably one of the least favourite parts of my job. I never ever want to make anyone leave the home. But at the end of the day, you don't live in a property for free.
Yeah.
And I know, literally.
I think some people have got a misconception. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And it's like, at the end of the day, you have to pay to live in a house.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, then find another way type thing.
I said you've got mortgage payment, rent payment, effectively the same but different. You know, I've been on both sides of the stick. Obviously, you know, you manage some of my properties, and you know, without saying names, obviously certain people that give dates that they're going to pay this month, and then it always shifts, and like there's only so much you can sort of tolerate it.
Yeah.
And obviously, like, you know, I'll say to you, oh, is that payment came in? And you're like, well, no, they've told me day one it's going to come in then, but like a week later you're still chasing them.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, you know, you can't win.
Yeah.
But you've got to be flexible, but at the same time, you know, you have to apply pressure.
Yeah.
It's just a sticky one, isn't it? But
yeah.
I always explain to tenants and landlords at the end of the day, we work on behalf of both. Type thing. Like, if a landlord's not doing work in the property, I will tell the landlord that they need to do the work. And, like, I'll back the tenant on that front, but at the same time, the tenant also needs to abide by their contract, their tenancy agreement, and if they're not doing that, then they're in breach. But,
there's a few landlords we took off the books, isn't there? And we took a few people off because they just won't do maintenance, won't do repairs, won't look after the property. Didn't do it right day one, and they won't do anything moving forward.
But I think that speaks volumes of us, really, because if we're willing to lose out on like management commission and things like that and all the rest of it, because they're not doing what we would expect from them as landlords, then
I think a lot of people are going to it with a mindset of thinking, buy a cheap house.
Not going to have any issues.
Not going to
just crack on, get my rent,
do the bare
that's all I need to do.
Stick someone in, get the rent, and then that's it. When an issue arises, they can't deal with it.
Yeah. Definitely.
talking about the bad bits of rental management, it's not all like that, is it? Like you say, the minority, one bad person can set you off and put the whole, one bad person put the whole office in a spiral, can't it? By phoning and complaining and being an issue and not reacting and not paying the rent. But there's a lot of good bits that go with it as well, like you say, like providing good quality accommodation, decent people, relocating, whatever it might be.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the relationships that I've got with landlords now, even with Lynn's, like being able to listen to her, have conversations on the phone with landlords that we've got.
Yeah.
And because of her positive experience with them, that also reflects on me, because when they ring me, the positive with me as well. Yeah. Same with the other way around. Like the client that I spoke about the other day that had 2 properties on with us and is also bringing 4. And they're going to purchase through sales, bring them to us. Yeah. So it's like if you build that relationship, you get rewarded through it as well.
Yeah. There's a bit. We've got a lot of people moving portfolios over to us now, haven't we? Yeah. In whether it's like, isn't someone's putting 20 on soon? Someone said.
Oh, he's got over 20 and they're with another estate agent. He doesn't want to keep all of his eggs in one basket.
Oh, right.
And he had a conversation with me. Took the work phone home with me so that I could win the business. 9 o'clock at night, I was laid on the sofa.
I remember you said to me, can you listen to this call? I don't know if I've been trolled or not. And I listened to it and I was like, no, like it's a genuine, serious out and out investor. Yeah. Obviously got managed by another agent in town. Obviously he's got discrepancies with another agent in town and clearly obviously wants to shift sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
So moving more over.
And we've got landlords as well coming off private management, like retained clients that run portfolio building, have self-managed for years, haven't they? And they're about to bring their portfolio over for management as well. Yeah. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think they've got quite a few things to align. But that's what we're seeing, just natural growth. People are bringing 1, 2 properties over, buying more, plugging them in. And I think that's reflective of the service, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, the amount of conversations that I've had, the previous job I used to work in, negotiation on fees was pretty much if they weren't willing to pay, you'd drop it down 4% and that was fine, you won the business. Yeah. But what I do love about working here, to be fair, which makes my job easier because I don't need to go backwards and forwards saying, can I drop it to this much? Can I drop it to that much? Is basically going in and saying, look, we're 12% including VAT. If you're not willing to pay for that, then that's fine. Go with someone else, but you're going to pay for the service that you're going to get. Yeah. And it's crazy seeing like some businesses doing 7.5% fully managed, and I'm like, that is mental. The amount of work that goes into a tenancy, totally. And building those relationships. 7.5% cutting yourself short completely. Yeah. Was
that because you were a big corporate before, weren't you, like PLC? Yeah. So was that there?
They're not doing 7.5%, but they would probably drop down to that. Yeah.
So I was about to say there, touching back on what you said, obviously you came from a corporate previously. Like, what differences are like here from that inside things? Like, what positive differences are you noticing?
Dealing with things, like a lot of stuff was hands off really there. You've got multiple different businesses in different areas, so you've got your arrears chasing down south, you've got renewals down south, like everything's separate from the business. You solely focus on move-ins. So I suppose that I prefer doing more here because your day is different every day.
You feel more hands-on with your portfolio.
Like you're a lot more in control. You don't have to sit and sieve through notes for half an hour to find out the information that you need. You're on the phone, as I say, building relationships. You know exactly what's what. They're not having to wait on hold for half an hour.
More personal.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not going from Teesside to Liverpool to London, like you're just almost dancing all over the country. You're just being dealt with by Vicky and Lindsay in Middlesbrough, like
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, no day is the same in here at all. So as I said, been out staging with you and Freya, haven't I? So like being able to do staging, dabbled in sales for a couple of months over Christmas.
Hey, you didn't do too bad at that, like.
I know. So yeah, it's just nice to be able to just do a little bit of everything and get the support at the same time, because I mean, if I needed anything from anyone in here, especially like directors wise as well, just on the phone straight away.
Quality.
Yeah.
Good. You're looking forward to London? Yeah.
A few beveragini. Aperol spray.
Don't work, it's going to work.
But yeah.
Now you're looking forward to it though?
Yeah.
Be good, won't it?
Yeah.
First time at the expo, so...
Yeah, I mean, the clients that came in yesterday that I introduced to everyone, they're coming. Introduced them to Charlotte, they were questioning about sourcing and things like that, so that sounds quite promising.
You probably see quite a few generally when we go to the expo, a lot of existing clients.
Was that the ones that came in about the
Selective licensing.
Selective licensing.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, so they're on the way down to London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then, yeah, you'll be
What's happening? Is selective licensing, is it all up for renewal now?
Article 4 is getting introduced, but they're extending Newport.
Right.
So TS1, they're extending selective licensing in there.
Are they?
Yeah, but I think they're making TS3 smaller, but don't quote me on that.
Are they?
Yeah, so they were asking about that yesterday as well, and about the HMO conversions, because we were looking at Ask and things like that in Middlesbrough. So
they're looking at purchasing more than is that their plan?
Yeah, I think they want to dabble more into HMOs, but they said that the juice was for management.
Right, interesting. How do you think the rental market's looking as a whole then, moving forward next few years? Like for Middlesbrough, Teesside, the North East generally, but...
Truthfully, on the up.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, with all the new business and stuff that's coming in.
Yeah.
I mean, you're seeing an influx now, realistically.
Yeah.
Same with like James Cook, people coming to work there. You've got new people starting. Same with North Tees.
Yeah.
Constantly. I mean, we've just had 2 doctors move into some flats at Thornaby, £800 a month for a 2-bed flat, fully furnished.
Yeah.
So yeah, still busy as ever.
Yeah.
And I don't imagine it going quiet anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
At all.
Oh, what about the licensing? Selective licence has been around for years. What's like with the changes to the areas and then Article 4 coming in?
I think the Article 4 will be a massive change.
Yeah, massive,
100%. A lot of people don't know about selective licensing.
I
mean, the amount of landlords from down south.
Do you want to explain what it is then? Because a lot of people won't know.
It's basically just a licence that you have to apply for through Middlesbrough Council to make sure that the property that you're purchasing, that you're renting out, is livable. It's not really an in-depth type thing. It's just like, I mean, the ones that we've seen, handrails.
Yeah.
Because the stairs are so steep, TS3.
Yeah.
You have to have a handrail on a certain angle going up the stairs, But it's just to make sure that as a landlord, you're doing your duty, really.
And not delivering some standard property.
Yeah,
it's almost like a compliant building certificate, isn't it? Like, handrails, height of stairs, making sure you hit like 900 mil, like window restrictors, like those sort of like intricate things that we use with sort of social housing contracts.
Yeah.
Where it's like almost like a little mini building reg sign-off sheet to say, Do
you think it's a benefit? Selective licensing? I do. That's why
like antisocial behaviour and stuff like that has massively crept down since that's been
areas,
since that has been introduced.
Yeah. 100%.
Antisocial behaviour has come down. I mean, you have to fill out a report. That's why it was so beneficial for me to sit in here yesterday with them, because I'd never filled one out before.
Right, just guided, yeah.
Yeah, so I sat with them, went through it all, antisocial behaviour checklist and plan. You have to say what you're willing to do, how you're going to prevent antisocial behaviour and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely helped.
Yeah, good for tidying it up.
Yeah.
Good. You want to talk about food?
That's what
Burger King, chili cheese bites.
Might as well just cut this bit here, Fred. It's all going downhill. So, London.
Wingstop.
Is that
what?
We're going to Wingstop.
Garlic powder sometimes.
Dennis is the complete opposite side. He's mango habanero.
He's
a Tommy.
Wasn't a fan, mate.
Him and Charlotte straight at the top of the league.
Yeah, it's got to be hot.
Yeah. Bit of barbecue. Tangy barbecue.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, scran.
Yeah. What's scran?
Alioli.
Yeah. Alioli, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Broadened your horizons today, didn't we?
I know, yeah.
Flynn.
Do you want to get Flynn? Give him a shout. Thank you.
I'm going to have to squeeze past you.
Oh, yeah.
Screw.